Welcome in to another edition of Training Ground Dispatch here on the SDH Network, presented by Kaiser Permanente. Madison Cruz, Jason Longshore. We are here at the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Training Ground, getting you ready for Atlanta United hosting San Diego this Saturday at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Jason, it's the first time we're seeing San Diego as well, and they're a really, really tough opponent and really broken through their first season, especially as an expansion club. They bring a lot of challenges to the Five Stripes this weekend.
Yeah, it's a fun team to watch. They're very aggressive. They're going to be very high up the field with defending. They're going to be a little bit man-to-man at times. You know, it's going to be kind of a chaotic game, and that's what San Diego has thrived in. But if you look at the differences between like St. Louis and San Diego, for example, San Diego is much more of a team that wants the ball. So they're going to have the aggressiveness defensively, but then they are so dangerous with the ball. They can do both sides of it, and that's what makes it a difficult match here. San Diego's got a lot to play for out in the Western Conference as well.
Well, we got the chance to talk to a lot of people today, actually, after training. We talked with Pedro Amador as well as Luke Brennan, who actually just got called up to the U20s World Cup for the U.S. men's national team. That'll be in Chile later on this year. And then we also talked to head coach Ronny Deila. So without further ado, you don't want to hear us yapping about it, so we'll go ahead and toss it over to them. How's that connection grown between you and Anea on that one side in the last couple of games?
Yes, tiene sido muy bueno porque Anea jugador tiene mucha experiencia y tiene mucha calidad. Es como un líder en campo, por tanto me entiendo muy bien con él. Jugó en Portugal también y está mucho contento jugando con él y nos estamos conectando bien.
I think Anea he's a good player. He's a leader for us on the field, and he also brings quality. So for us, we're able to communicate very well. I think we're forming a good connection and just trying to continue working on that.
Segunda defensa, ¿cuáles son las cositas que quiere mejorar el equipo en los últimos 5 partidos?
Sí, tenemos que ser mucho más agresivos sobre quien tiene la pelota. Tenemos que estar compactos. Tenemos que nos ayudar unos a los otros, un salve, otro nos cobre, y cuando a uno tiene un error u otro error, todos juntos a jugar, pero más importante es trabajar y ser un poco más agresivo en la defensa.
Defensively, we have to be more aggressive, we have to try to stay more compact, and we have to help each other, cover for each other. So if someone makes a mistake, we're all there to help and to cover for each other, but mostly just try to be more aggressive.
Go ahead, Jason.
How challenging has this year been for you physically with injuries making it difficult to play a consistent rhythm?
Sí, este año ha sido un año difícil para mí porque tuve muchas lesiones, pequeñas lesiones, pero muchas lesiones. Pero yo intento siempre estar lo mejor posible, pero por una causa u otra acabo siempre por tener un poco una lesión u otra. Pero tengo que trabajar mejor, mi forma física, dentro o fuera, y eso.
It's been a tough year for me, just dealing with a lot of small injuries over the course of the season. So, for one reason or another, I just was continuing to battle those, and I'm doing my best to try and get healthy, stay healthy, to work on my fitness. So, yeah, it's been tough, but that's something that I obviously want to stay healthy and want to be out there.
What's the personality of this U20 group that's heading into the World Cup?
I think we're hungry. I think we're a generation that isn't scared. We've played big teams and we've pretty much beaten every team we played. So I think we're hungry. We want to show that our development and our talent is high up there. So yeah, we're eager for this tournament.
How important was your time, coming through the academy here to be at the stage for you?
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's given me everything. It's the only team I've been at. I've been here since I was like 10, so it's been a massive part. It's been huge, and yeah, it's big.
In talking to that coaching staff, what are they wanting from you in this group?
I think it's the same that they want from me here: goals, assists, taking players on 1v1, and just our wingers are direct. So hopefully I can just be a big part and be a direct winger.
what are going to be some of the biggest challenges in this World Cup going up against a lot of these other teams as well?
Yeah, challenges. I think obviously our team can only be together so much because we're all at our clubs. So it's going to take some getting used to, getting back together, and getting the chemistry flowing. So I think once we get it clicked in, I think we'll be good.
You mentioned the group coming together. How important is this time when you guys arrive to find that common footing and bond before game one?
Yeah, I mean, we just had a camp in Spain, so that was good to see all the guys. And yeah, I think our team is a very, very strong group, but there's not we're all so together. So it's pretty quick that we'll come together, and obviously we're going to go into this week of training with our goals in mind.
The group chat stay active when you guys are away?
Yeah, I think I play video games with some of the boys, so yeah, it's so good to go and see all your friends.
When you look back at that match, how much time did you spend looking back at that kind of chaotic match?
I've seen a lot actually. We went through very deep the game with the players also on Wednesday because you cannot just let it go. And when I see the first half, it's two things that stands out. It's the aggression. We need much more aggression to win the ball, because it's not like we are not have enough people around the ball. It's about getting close enough to the ball. It's about getting in to win the ball. That's number one, I think. So they played easy through us, and also our decision making in the box was very bad. Now we had also a couple of technical mistakes that lead to it, but in general in the first half we were too far away from them, and we have to go in and get body contact and make it hard for them to play. And then the positive side is that we created 10 goal chances and scored 4 goals. That's the positive side. So we have been talking about that also before. That then we had a couple of clean sheets before this game, but we haven't created enough, and now we're also totally opposite. So now hopefully we can put it together, and then we have a very good chance to win if we keep on creating chances and at the same time get back to what we did when we had a clean sheet.
How have you seen Cooper's development? He's on track potentially to go to the U17 World Cup later this year. Made his MLS debut on Saturday in that match. How have you watched him this year?
I think he's very talented. He's one of the best scanners of the ball. He's one of the best first touches. He reads the game really well, and he needs to just believe more in himself and be a little bit more brave on the ball. I think he did that when he comes on for us. He had some very good switches of play. He played with composure, and I liked what I see. But he needs to keep on breaking lines and work with intensity in defense also. So winning more balls in the center, and keep on using his skills on the ball, because that is a player with a real future in MLS.
How important is it to have such a strong academy as well as second team too, to help create and get players like Cooper ready to come up and help the first team when needed? It's
very important. It's the soul of the club and also the city. So that's for us it's so vital. So we already have a lot of young players into the team this year, but it's coming also 3-4 very talented boys, also 16, 17, 18 years old. And I like when they are in that age, because it's more easy to get them to be top players when they are so early, so good. But of course it's a long way from being a good academy player to be a first team player, and also to be the best player in the league. Because that's what we need. If you're going to be the best team, we need to have the best players also. And it's just a step on the road, but they're coming far to be 17 years old. And now it's our task now to get them to be also that when they are 20.
Is it even more important in situations like this, where the playoffs are out of reach, to have those young kids pushing in training sessions to keep it lively?
That's true. It's a little bit sad, the rule that we can also only take up one at a time, because they are outside the roster. Things can happen through the season that some have very good development, and it's not easy to know exactly who's going to be good in 6 to 12 months. So that is a rule that should be done something with, because it's not like we have any more favor of competition in that. Is more sad for the league that when we are in the situation we are now, we are not so many players either that we can put in young players into the squad, but then we get the whole back because of a rule. That's I don't think it's right. That's something I think and has to look for.
Frank de Boer hated that rule.
Yeah, obviously it was strange because you can give a young player an opportunity and then suddenly we can only take up one from outside the roster. We're talking about a 17-year-old boy here, and we have a couple that would be in the squad last weekend and will be in the squad now if the rule were different.
Got to give a huge congratulations to Luke Brennan. It's a huge accomplishment, something he talked to all of us about in media, that was one of his goals this season, was wanting to make that breakthrough and get into that squad. Finally got to do it.
Yeah, he's earned that spot. He's been really good for the U20s over this calendar year. That World Cup starts really soon here. He's going to leave after the match tomorrow to join up with the roster. And as he said, this is a group who knows one another very, very well. They're playing video games together on a regular basis. It's a lot of guys who have played together a lot. And that's the thing, is the U.S. youth national team setup has invested more in these youth national teams to bring guys in on a more regular basis. So then when you get into the situation where you don't have an extended camp ahead of time, you have a group that knows one another well. Also, big credit to Atlanta United for letting Brennan go. You know, it's easier with where the playoff chase is. It's over now, so you can let him go, but not every club let their players go. Every situation's different. There is not a right and a wrong answer to this. If Atlanta's chasing a playoff spot, maybe they can't afford to let him go. We've seen situations with Mastantuono at Real Madrid. They can't let him go because he's part of the first team squad, even though for Argentina, he would be a huge player in this tournament. The youth national team World Cups are always interesting with that regard, but we've heard from Chris Henderson consistently. He believes in that process. He went through that process as a young player. He thinks it's valuable to let players go in these situations whenever possible, and Brennan's going to have a huge opportunity to turn some heads worldwide at the World Cup.
Well, let's go ahead and bring it to Pedro Amador as well as Ronny Deila, talking about this matchup against San Diego. What were some of your biggest takeaways from what they had to say to the media?
I think for Pedro, just asking him about how the year's been for him physically. He's had a lot of injuries, and I think when we look at Pedro's season, you have to remember that it's been stop-start. He had the injury in preseason, then he gets back, then he gets hurt again, then he gets back, then he gets hurt again, lots of little things. It's been a real challenge, and when you have that happen, and you haven't had that happen a lot in your career, it can mess with not just you physically, but with your head a little bit. And I think Pedro's had some moments this year that are not characteristic of his game. So he's going to try to figure that out as best as you can. Sometimes it's just a luck thing, and it's just one of those years that you chalk up and you try to reset for next year. Talking to Ronny, I think it was important to hear him say something that we've talked about a lot. You'd like to give young players more chances in Major League Soccer, and when you're in this situation, it can be a gift in terms of giving young players games and minutes that help them accelerate for 2026. But you're limited in doing that because of the roster rules. You have the complications with college eligibility and all that, and that needs to be another conversation too. And I know U.S. Soccer, as I get a soapbox out for a second, I know U.S. Soccer's had conversations with the NCAA and the college game and trying to find a way to bring that under the umbrella, because it's completely separate. It's a separate universe, separate rules. I mean, you got countdown clocks and horns stopping games and referees stopping clocks, and it's a whole different world. But I think now, with the way college athletics has changed and players are making money in a variety of ways, the idea of, no, I can't have an academy player play games as an amateur in Major League Soccer, that's outdated. That's a 1960s, 1970s kind of rule. That has to change. U.S. Soccer has to push for it with the NCAA and with the professional leagues. If they can change that, you get a situation where, for example, and I'm just pulling out guys who have played with Atlanta United too, who at this stage, Didi Cibrian, Gabriel Wiese, they could get games in MLS for a team that would be looking to give them those opportunities, but you literally can't do it because they're academy players and they're not on pro contracts. That's silly. And then you have the off-roster homegrown situation that Cooper Sanchez is in, which is also silly. You have to give young players games for them to get better. We all want that as a league. We all want that as people in U.S. Soccer. let's craft the rules to give teams more flexibility to do it. You're not going to be able to gain competitive advantages in doing this. It's about development. Stop limiting and create opportunities for people on the other side.
I like the soapbox. I think it needs to be happening as well.
Sometimes it happens.
Yes.
Look, you know me by now. Come on.
Especially with everything changing with NCAA and with everything here, especially changing professionally too. I do think it's a conversation that needs to happen sooner rather than later, because you have players, not wanting to burn their college eligibility, especially now. You have players.
Terrible.
Exactly. It makes a whole bunch of different nonsense. So we'll see, especially as we head into tomorrow's matchup. While you're on your soapbox, I'm going to let you cut the promo and get things rolling for us tomorrow.
It's an earlier kick tomorrow. It's throwing me off a little bit. 3:30 for the pregame coverage on 92.9 The Game and the Odyssey app. 4:40 for kickoff. You can watch on Apple TV's MLS Season Pass. You can listen to our call on MLS Season Pass. Go to the audio options, choose Home Team Radio. Abe and Maddie get you started at 3:30. Mike and I will get rolling at 4:40. And then it's Atlanta United 2 in the evening, and we will have game coverage of that on the SDH network. Go to soccerdownhere.net, click listen. That's going to kick off just after 7 o'clock. So when you start to do the math and you start to figure this out, yes, that's why it's going to be a chaotic Saturday.
So chaotic, so much Atlanta United, especially as the Twos are searching for a playoff spot as well. They are going to be fighting. It is a must-win, especially going up against Crown Legacy on Saturday as well. So we'll have all the coverage for you on the SDH network, so make sure you're following us on all of our social medias at Soccer Down Here.